Hi, I'm Emily Anderson with FranNet, and thanks for taking a few minutes with me to talk about our four-step research process. This is a very systematized approach that we are going to use in conducting due diligence as we look at various business and franchise opportunities. And I wanted to spend a few minutes so you knew exactly what to expect. Now, if you are listening to this, there's a very good chance that you have already completed your entrepreneur profile. That is the foundation step that we will take as we move forward to see what businesses, if any, really are the best fit for you. And perhaps you've already met with myself or maybe another FranNet consultant to build your business blueprint or your business model. This is where we sit down and do a deep dive to get a really clear understanding of your goals, short-term and long-term goals. What kind of skills do you want to bring to the table to contribute to this business? What is your preferred customer acquisition strategy? What about your operational systems that you'd be executing? So we want to get a really clear idea where in a perfect world, what are the characteristics that describe your ideal business? And this is a template through which we will look through an inventory of pre-approved businesses and franchises and see which ones are the closest match to your model. That's when we begin the four-step process. Now, the first step is going to be meeting and speaking with franchisor representatives. We usually recommend 2 to 3 different brands. I think it's really important to be able to look at different options, be able to compare and contrast the different systems, the different offerings that are available with each. Usually this is a one-on-one conversation. It might be done by phone or webcam. Sometimes it will be a live or a pre-recorded webinar. This is a general overview, an intro call to start answering some high-level questions about the business where they will tell you about their value proposition and answer some questions. After the initial call, it is common for the franchisor to send you a copy of the franchise disclosure document, or FDD. Now, this is a few hundred pages thick, usually, that is going to provide all kinds of information around the leadership team, their business experience, the investment, any agreements, policies. Also, it will list the name and contact information of everyone who currently is or ever has been a franchise owner in that system. After step one, there might be an option or two that you decide to eliminate. There might be an option or two that you like so far, and you'd like to move on with step three. Now, step three is, in my opinion, the most important part of the research process. I mentioned that the FDD has the name and contact information of franchisees in that brand, and we're going to have some conversations with them. The franchisor overview in step one is high level and relatively theoretical. Conversations with the franchise owners are going to get into the nitty gritty of what it is really like to own that business. And you can ask them anything you want. We can ask about the training support. We can ask about the culture of the franchise family. We can ask about earnings. Yes, we're going to talk about money, and we'll give you tips on how to address potentially sensitive issues in a really necessary way. This is important information. I recommend speaking with franchise owners that are successful, and I recommend speaking with franchise owners that are really struggling. We want to get a well-rounded perspective and speak with enough owners so that you more or less start to hear the same things. Again, franchise ownership, one of the huge benefits is mitigating risk, but also what comes along with that is increasing predictability, having a clear understanding of the path that lies ahead, what a day in the life really looks like. And frankly, what I'm looking for is to see if you really start to identify with some of the people that you're speaking with. You might start thinking things like, I really see myself in this business, or this sounds like something that I would enjoy doing. If that doesn't happen, we need to have a conversation. Now, if it does happen, I am looking for you to get to the point where you're about 80 to 90% sure that this is the right business for you. Usually a front runner is revealed as we conduct due diligence. Now, we've spent a lot of time, we've had a lot of conversations, but we haven't spent any money. to the point where we get to 80 to 90% sure. Once we're at that point, we might choose to attend a Meet the Team Day or a Discovery Day. Now, this is ultimately the peak of the research process. What I mean is this is the peak of the information generally that we can access in order to make a decision. The franchisor will be qualifying you just as much as you are qualifying them. Meet the Team Day might happen virtually. It might actually look like traveling and visiting the franchise headquarters on site, where these people that you've been speaking with for weeks, you finally get to meet them in person. You might get to tour around, visit some franchise operations, and be a fly on the wall and see how that's going. And usually, a franchisor is looking for a candidate to make a decision within about a week or two. Now, this is assuming we are awarded a franchise. And the reason why there is a decision time, an expectation around a decision, is that a franchisor is looking to see if you are capable of making decisions in real time after accessing all the information, because that is a key part of business ownership, is decision making. If you are awarded a franchise and if you decide to move forward with it, we move on to step 4. That might look like engaging with a franchise attorney to review the franchise agreement. Frankly, the legal review can happen before Meet the Team or Discovery Day. It can happen after. Be in touch with me or your FranNet associate to help you determine what makes the most sense for your circumstances. Please, if you do a legal review, only engage with an attorney that has deep and extensive experience in franchise law, not business law in general, but franchise law. And I'm happy to provide you with some recommendations and referrals. You may also wish to engage with a CPA. Now, this entire process usually takes around 2 to 3 months. It can happen a little faster, it can happen a little slower, but this is usually the due diligence process. And I guarantee the closer we get to a decision, the more fear we will feel. And that's okay. Let that fear drive you to conducting thorough due diligence so that you make a safe and wise decision in the end, whether that's saying yes or no to business ownership. And please know that we are going to be with you every step of the way. To prepare you for your first call with franchisors, we're going to give you a list of suggested questions and some tips so you know what to expect. We'll do the same to prepare you for your validation calls with franchise owners. We'll even give you some suggestions and tips on how to ask them about money and income. Because let's face it, we're calling total strangers and asking them about money. It's necessary. We'll help you through it. We'll prepare you for Discovery Day, and we'll be with you every step of the way to have strategy calls. Sometimes the calls are just to decompress, and we will continue to refer back to your business model to ensure that the businesses we're looking at are still the right fit. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of your entrepreneurial journey. I look forward to working with you. Take care.